Hello, my name is Randy Dobson. I'm an instructor here in the Houston, Texas area, and this video will be covering the Autocad Extrude command, which is for the 3D environment. Uh, the Extrude command is one of four right up here that will take 2D objects and convert them into a solid. Anything that's like on an XY, the extrude, loft, revolve, and sweep will turn these, give them a thickness to them. Uh, the the one thing that these all have in common, which whenever you start the command, it's going to ask you for a mode, and you have to decide that up front whether it's going to be a solid or a surface. It defaults to solid, but I'm actually going to come back to that because I want to show you the difference. One of the main things with dealing with extrude is to extrude something correctly into a solid. It needs to be a closed object and it needs to be one object. I'm just going to draw a line here real quick, bunch of lines, and I'm going to hit C for close, so that is closed. Now I'm going to do a polyline similar to that one, hit close. So here we have two closed objects, but the big difference is this is one object. If I go to move this, as you see, I just selected it in one spot, where here if I wanted to move it, I have to select it all. Okay, I could, grab this line and move it over there, where if I grab this line and move it, the whole thing moves. So when you go to extrude, you can either go up or down, understanding that this is on my surface, which is 0. So if I wanted it to go down, I would input a negative number. If I want to go up, obviously it'd be a positive number. But I'm going to do extrude, and it's going to say select object or objects. I'm going to leave the mode alone for now to solid. I'm going to select my correct object here, and as you can see, I'll type in 10, and there is my object. Now I'm going to repeat that over here, and I'm going to select all these lines, and I'm going to go up 10. And as you can see, what the difference is, this doesn't fill in. Also, this is individual parts. Okay. Now another way of doing this, and I'm going to do another P line here, is if I went to extrude, went to mode, and then went to surface and went up 10. Now again, the difference between this is all different objects, where this is still just one object. If I go move and just pick right here, the whole thing moves. Okay. Actually, I need to get rid of my original. So there we have the the difference between them, but that mode you have to select right up front. Now, any closed object will extrude. If you come over here to rectangle, let's go to ellipse. Whoops, didn't select that real well. There we go. Try that again. I don't know why it's making it so small. Let's try one here. One more time. Well, for some reason it won't let me do it very big, but let's try a circle. Not sure why it won't. There it goes. I was just looking at it incorrectly. My fault. Polygon, we'll go with 6 sides. Pick here, and there's a polygon. So any of these objects can be extruded just by themselves. I can extrude this up. I can extrude this up. I can extrude this. And then I can extrude this. Okay, but it needs to be a closed object and only one. Again, if you do something like this one over here, to where you just draw say a line, and then let's just say I do an arc real quick. from that end point to that end point, and you're like, well, that's a closed object. Well, it is a closed object, but it's not one object. So when I go to extrude it, it will stay just that, like that. That's a big thing to remember with all four of these right here as you watch these videos, is that once you start the command, there is mode. I'll just show you another one, revolve. There is mode. Let me go to loft. There is mode. There's some other things in here, but I'm just concentrating on mode. And then of course the last one, sweep, is mode. This has to be decided ahead of time whenever you're doing it. And again, if you want to extrude something, let me back up here a little bit, find some things I want to use. I'm going to go to extrude, and instead of typing 10, I'm going to type -20. As you can see, it went down, it went below the surface. So this is going to give it a -20. I'll list this real quick just to show you. There's the -20. That's the bottom. The top is right on 0, so it's going to have a Z of 0. Okay, so very, very strong command. Extrude goes into Inventor, SolidWorks, other 3D softwares, and it's probably one that you'll be using more often than others. Actually, these four right up here will be your main ones. But that concludes my video on Extrude. Thank you.